Resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, a legal perspective. In addition to historical grievances and political complexities, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict is also deeply entwined with legal considerations under international law. Understanding the legal framework surrounding the conflict and the obligations it imposes on both parties is essential for formulating a viable peace plan that upholds the principles of justice, equality, and human rights. International law and obligations. At the heart of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict are fundamental principles of international law, including the right to self-determination, the prohibition of annexation of territory by force, and the protection of civilian populations under occupation. These principles are enshrined in various international instruments, including the United Nations Charter, the Fourth Geneva Convention, and numerous UN resolutions. Israel, as the occupying power in the West Bank, Gaza Strip, and East Jerusalem, is bound by the obligations outlined in the Fourth Geneva Convention, which prohibits the transfer of its civilian population into occupied territory and mandates the protection of the rights and well-being of the occupied population. Settlement construction, land confiscation, and the demolition of Palestinian homes violate these legal norms and undermine prospects for a peaceful resolution. Palestinian obligations under international law include respecting the right of Israel to exist within secure and recognized borders and renouncing violence as a means of achieving political objectives. While the Palestinian leadership has taken steps to fulfill these obligations, including recognition of Israel's right to exist and participation in peace negotiations, challenges remain, particularly regarding the governance of Gaza and the need for internal reconciliation among Palestinian factions. Peace plan and legal framework. A comprehensive peace plan for the Israeli-Palestinian conflict must be firmly grounded in international law and address the core legal issues at the heart of the dispute. This includes the status of Jerusalem, the right of return for Palestinian refugees, the future of Israeli settlements, and the borders of a viable Palestinian state. Regarding Jerusalem, any peace plan must uphold the city's status as a shared capital for both Israel and Palestine, with arrangements that respect the religious and cultural significance of the city to all parties involved. The right of return for Palestinian refugees, as enshrined in UN General Assembly Resolution 194, should be addressed through mechanisms that provide for compensation, resettlement, and reconciliation while preserving Israel's demographic integrity. The issue of Israeli settlements in the occupied territories must be addressed through a combination of measures, including a freeze on settlement construction, dismantling of existing settlements deemed illegal under international law, and equitable land swaps as part of a negotiated land for peace agreement. Conclusion. In conclusion, any sustainable resolution to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict must be firmly rooted in the principles of international law and respect the legal rights and obligations of both parties. By addressing key legal issues and implementing measures to uphold human rights, promote justice, and ensure security for all, a lasting peace can be achieved in the region. It is imperative that the international community, including regional stakeholders and the United Nations, support efforts to advance a peace plan that is grounded in legality, fairness, and respect for the rights of all parties involved.